Well, thank you very much. I'm glad I've gone on after the break, after those incredible, impassioned and knowledgeable things, because I actually feel I'm slightly out of my depth here because I'm just a musician. But, okay, a great one, thank you. But I've got a little thing here, which is what I do for my day job, and it says Oasis Tour Live 25, which I'm currently on at the minute, and out 400 passes, I'm number 15. So obviously it means I'm more important than number 16. But not as important as number 14. But what's incredible at my day job as a musician, on this tour I'm playing to 2 million people in the UK. And I have to wear this to go in. Okay? Now this doesn't offend any of you if I was wearing this now, would it? It just says Oasis Live 25. I cannot wear my watermelon hoodie at the gig. Yeah, exactly. There is a blanket ban from the management and the promoters. You are not allowed any flags, exactly, any flags. Now, the reason why they say any flags is so there's nothing to do with Palestine. Because there's 2 million people, and we don't want to ruin their fun. 2 million people have spent £165 each to watch some music. Brilliant, they're having a great time. But imagine if those 2 million people all said, military intervention now. Imagine the power of that voice if they used it. And a little story to illustrate how we could use those voices. I've got 2 stories to tell, and I want you to decide which one first. One is about a very short man, and the other one is about taxes. So what do you want first, the short man or taxes? Put your hands up if you want taxes first. Okay. Put your hands up if you want the short man story first. Okay, I thought so. Okay. There's a very short man who died 204 years ago. Okay, while he was alive, he invented the ambulance. What a great invention. Now, when I'm on my deathbed, if I'm able to say to I've got 5 children, so probably 87 grandchildren, what did you do, Grandad? I invented the ambulance. I would be very, very pleased, because it's a brilliant invention. Okay, but this guy didn't stop there. He also invented the metric system, because this was a few hundred years ago, and he was confused by all these different weights and measures. What's this ton? Why is it different from that ton? What's a furlong? What's an inch? What are all these things? I've got a great idea. And bear in mind, he was a short man. So he measured from his foot to where his heart is and called it a métier, or a measure. And that became the meter. And he was like, okay, that's good. I said he was a short guy. Okay, so literally 3 foot from his toe to his heart. He said, right, I live in this country. I want to see how many meters it would take to get from the top to the bottom, but that's going to be a lot. So why don't we put 1,000 meters into a kilometer and measure the country, and then we can make 100 centimeters into a meter. And he invented the metric system. So he's invented an ambulance and the metric system. You'd stop there and tell your great-grandchildren, I did a good thing, okay? But he not only did that, he invented the idea of a single currency, which we now see in the EU. Because there's all these black market trade about swapping Swiss francs for Italian ducats and all this. He's like, let's get one currency. So he's done 3 amazing things. His archaeologists also found this stone in Egypt called the Rosetta Stone, so people could understand by translating the Greek via another language to what the pharaohic symbols meant. Okay. Wow, what a dude. This is a lot of good work. Okay. He then became a massive dictator because he became the emperor of France. This is a guy called Napoleon, by the way. But this was a guy, I said he was short, but he'd done a lot of good things. Power corrupted him. But he came from a revolution. He grew up in a revolution where the bloated, hideous French royal family were ousted by the general public. Now, he knew this when he became this general, and he was fighting wars for the French independent country against the weight of the Russian Empire, the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, the British Empire, the Prussian Empire, which is the Germans, the Swedish, etc., etc. He could defeat every army on the battlefield. He once fought a battle where he fought 5 different countries with his own one army. And I said he went on to become a hideous dictator because power corrupts absolutely, and he started to go insane and had health issues and became an even worse human being. But the one thing he was scared of was not the massive Russian army, the Austrian-Hungarian army, the British army, all these armies, what do you think it was? It was the people back in France. Because he knew if they united, as he'd already seen when he came to power, they would take it all away from him immediately. Not the weight of this institution, that institution, but his own people, if they banded together and used their one voice. Because that is what power is. It's a contradiction. It comes from the works of Antonio Gramsci, and as an Italian descendant, when my family left, they walked from southern Italy to northern Italy with just some stuff in a cart to get on a boat because of the fascists. My grandfather told my dad about the teachings of Antonio Gramsci, who came up with the concept of hegemony, which Noam Chomsky then took on. Is that we submit as the multitude to the power of the few because we think we can't do anything about it. But the reality is we can, which then brings me on to the second fun subject, which is taxes. Now, we all love paying our taxes, don't we? No? Oh, get out, come on. Now, in a true working democracy, the 31st of January, when I have to go, oh, no, that's horrendous. We should celebrate it. Because in a true democracy, what we've done on the build-up to the paying this money is because we're paying for the privilege to put in place all these wonderful things we've voted for. So you look at your political parties, they've got a manifesto that says, we're going to give 27% of all of our tax money to the National Health Service. And you go, well, the other party said 5%, so I'm going to vote for them. Or we're going to do all this money to try and help climate change, etc., etc. Okay? So when it comes to tax day, we should all be going, yes, we get to contribute to these wonderful things that are going to change society. But we don't, do we? Because we know that the money's not going to go the way we wanted it to, because you know you got lied to. You know that manifesto was just a load of, may I say, a load of, just to get you to vote for them, because they then change it. And what do we do on the 31st of January? We pay our taxes, because as an individual, we can't do anything. So if I decide not to pay my tax, I'm going to get a knock at the door. And they say, you must pay your tax, Dr. Minchella. Well, I'm not going to, because you lied to me. I'm not going to pay taxes because you're going to spend it on arms. You're going to privatise the NHS. You can do all the wrong things. I'm not going to pay. Okay, well, we're going to make you bankrupt, repossess your house, and if you still don't pay your tax next year, you're going to prison. So what do? Suck it up and pay your taxes. Now, imagine if 2 million people, every single person at those Oasis concerts said, no, I agree with Damon. I'm not going to pay my taxes. What's the government going to do? Nothing, because they can't. There's not enough of them, which is where the contradiction of power comes. If the general public, all of us here are in agreement, imagine if those 2 million Oasis fans are in agreement, and it rolls on and on and on. If everyone stands together and says, we've had enough, military intervention now, or we're going to pull and break it all down. That's when we change it. Thank you.